Now, Pacquiao's actually been saying recently that he's thinking about rematching Ugas. Now, in my opinion, I think this is a bit of a bad move for him. I think Ugas at this point in time just is too much for Pacquiao. I feel like Pacquiao, when he made quotes like, if you can see the graphic on the screen, you can see exactly what he said. When he's making quotes like, Ugas is one of the most easiest fighters I've ever fought, he's saying it from the mindset of the form that he had when he was in his prime. In his prime, if you compare Ugas to the Clotties of the world, the Cottos of the world, the Margaritos of the world, the Shane Mosleys of the world, the Marquezes of the world, just to be real with you, no disrespect to Ugas, but he's not on that level. But if you compare him to the Pacquiao now, I think it's clear to see that Pacquiao, because he has declined a bit, he's not on the level of an Ugas. So I just feel like I think the worst thing Pacquiao can do is take the rematch. Now, the reason is because historically, boxing rematches have always tended to go one way. They've always tended to go into the hands of the person that won before. So if they won before one way, they usually win again, but in a more decisive fashion. So instead of Ugas just beating him on a 12-round decision, I think it's likely that we're going to see Ugas knock him out or do something worse to him. So I just think Pacquiao just, obviously he's got a warrior spirit. He just wants to fight and fight and fight and destruct the world. But he's got to remember that he's not the same fighter he once was. When he's making comments like, "Oh man, Ugas is not what he is not this is one of the easiest fighters I've ever fought." He's saying it from the perspective of the Pacquiao that was in his prime, but this isn't prime Pacquiao anymore. This is a Pacquiao that's older, who's got leg cramps, he doesn't move how he used to, doesn't have the speed that he used to have, is more shop worn. The fact that he's still got his fighting spirit after everything that he's accomplished is very admirable. I mean, it's incredible that he does have that. But we need to be a little bit realistic here. Somebody needs to take him to one side and say to him, "Listen, man, just have one more fight against like a good fighter, but not an elite fighter, and just bow out on top, and that'll be the end of your career." I mean, he doesn't need the money. He's got plenty of money. He doesn't need the accolades. I mean, he's one of the most well-accomplished fighters that's ever existed. I mean, what's he doing this for? What's the reason that he wants to do this for? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So in my opinion, this is what I think Pacquiao should do. I mentioned 2 fights yesterday that I think Pacquiao should take. One of the fights was a fight against Conor McGregor, and another fight was against Robert Guerrero. There's other options on the table, but I think them 2 fights make a lot of sense. But Pacquiao, being Pacquiao, still wants to go in there and wants to fight the best fighters that's out there. Will he get the rematch? I think it's unlikely to happen, and the reason is because I just feel like Pacquiao's at a point in his career where it just doesn't make sense for the PBC to make a fight like that. Ugas is not a big name. Obviously, Pacquiao is a huge name, but them 2 together, I'd be very surprised if this has done very high numbers, in my opinion. So I just don't see the point of seeing a fight like this at this point in time, because Pacquiao's actually accomplished everything he possibly can in his career. The only thing that he's not done, he's been knocked. He's experienced every negative except for actually quitting in the ring. He's been knocked out via headshots. He's been knocked out via body shots. He's lost decisions. He's been robbed. He's been cut. He's bled. He's broken bones. He's experienced everything you can possibly experience in terms of the good and the bad. In terms of the good, he's won every title you could win. I mean, he was pound for pound number 1. He was fighter of the year. I mean, he won 8 world titles in 8 different weight classes. I mean, this guy's experienced absolutely everything a fighter can absolutely experience in boxing, right? But the only thing left for him to experience is actually quitting in the ring. And that's one thing that I don't want to see Pacquiao do. I want to see his legacy somewhat intact. I mean, if you see most fighters at the end of their road, they're usually fighters that have not actually experienced when they're at the end of their road, they usually get knocked out and abused and battered by fighters that back in the day could not even come close to their level. Pacquiao's not experienced that, because in the Ugas fight, although he got beat, he wasn't out of his depth. I mean, he's a competitive fight, and he gave Ugas a very good fight. So I just don't see the reason why he wants to keep going, because it just doesn't make sense, frankly. So in my opinion, I think Pacquiao should just bow out. I think Pacquiao should just have one more fight if you want to retire on a win, but don't make it an elite fighter. But obviously Pacquiao's going to do what Pacquiao wants to do, and that fighter's pride is something that great fighters have. It's a double-edged sword, because it's the thing that made them great, but it's also the thing that doesn't allow them to quit when it might be time to quit. So yeah, that's my opinion on this particular thing. What's your opinion? What do you think Pacquiao should do next? Do you think he should quit? Not quit, but do you think he should retire? Do you think he should fight a fighter that's not elite, but a fighter that's somewhat great? Not great, but a good world-class fighter. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you think he should fight someone like that, or do you think he should just bow out on top and just say, you know what, I did what I had to do, I made the money that I had to make, I've won titles in so many weight classes, I mean, I've done as much as a fighter could possibly do in the ring, like, I've experienced everything that a fight can experience, man. Now might be the time to just bow out. Just have one more farewell fight in the Philippines and make a lot of money. Even if you want to make a lot of money, fight Conor McGregor. If you want to just have one more fight just to call it a day, then fight Robert Guerrero and just get one last win on your record, and then that's it. Just call it a day. But I think that's the best thing for Pacquiao. But whether Pacquiao does it or not is another thing entirely. There's a very good chance that he won't do it, because obviously fighters are known to be very stubborn, and they usually do what they want to do, because that's what allowed them to defy the critics and become great. So yeah, that's my opinion on this particular fight, on this particular situation. Tell me your opinion, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.